California's Gold is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association.
California's Gold is brought to you by Ford, with a world of new ideas that make being out on the road more fun and more economical. Like Sync, the hands-free communication and entertainment system from Microsoft. It lets you order up practically anything you want to hear just by asking. And turn-by-turn navigation gets you exactly where you want to go. Ford hopes you enjoy traveling through California with Huell Hauser, perhaps in one of our remarkable new products.
It was a wonderful evening. An evening filled with music and camaraderie and energy. Everybody having a good time. We'd been invited to attend the Uptown Downtown Pacific Flyway Art Exhibit and Reception in Chico, one of my favorite towns in California. Now, the reception took place in two different Chico art galleries, one uptown, one downtown, with a trolley taking guests back and forth between the galleries. Now, the reception was the kickoff for a two-day festival, a festival honoring our feathered friends, an annual festival that was one of the most enlightening, educational, and fun I've ever attended, a festival that's very much a part of California's Gold. Okay, the adventure begins. We are standing here in this is an art gallery, isn't it, Jennifer?
It is. It's all fired up.
All fired up. We're all fired up because this is the 11th annual festival, and we haven't given it away yet. You're the chairperson of this thing.
That's right, Huell.
Where are we now? Give it away to everybody.
Oh, we're here celebrating the 11th annual Snow Goose Festival.
Snow Goose Festival here in Chico. Now, what's the deal? Why a Snow Goose Festival?
Well, Huell, we have something special here, and it is the Pacific Flyway. And we have wintering waterfowl down here that is amazing, just amazing.
And the wintering waterfowl include snow geese.
That's right. And you know what? We have numbers in the hundreds of thousands. They're amazing here. We have them stay here all winter. So you have just thousands and thousands of snow geese all over our wetlands.
And so what's the deal? You all just decided, let's have a festival and let's call it the Snow Goose Festival?
That's right, because that's our signature bird. Even though we call it the Snow Goose Festival, and they're in huge numbers here, we have huge numbers of the ducks. We have huge numbers of swans and sandhill cranes and egrets and herons.
But you chose the snow goose.
That's right.
The snow goose reigns supreme during the Snow Goose Festival.
That's right. And we want people to see that because it is an awesome sight to see 10,000 of them rise up out of the wetlands.
And this is the time of year for it to happen.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're here tonight. This is kind of the kickoff. What's going on here tonight?
Oh, it's a fun night. We have just great art here that depicts the waterfowl and the wildlife of the Pacific Flyway. And we're having a celebration to open up our 11th annual Snow Goose Festival. The artists are here. It's a juried art show. We have wonderful pictures and art.
Now, are these locals? Are these people who've come in from out of town to attend the Snow Goose Festival?
Oh, we have great support from our local community. But we have so many people from all over California here.
People who know about the birds in Chico, in Butte County,
yes,
in the whole Sacramento Valley.
Yeah, in the whole northern Sacramento Valley.
Well, this is very exciting. We're here in Chico. Now we can give it away for the Snow Goose Festival. Okay, time has passed. It's literally the morning after the big art gallery and all of the hoopla last night.
Right.
Now it's early, a little after 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and what's happening here, Marvy?
Well, we have over 50 field trips on our Snow Goose Festival this weekend. That means sometimes we have 4 field trips leaving at once.
Wow, so this is like Action Central right here. This is where people come to what do they get on a bus or get in a caravan of cars, or how does it work?
We do both. We have caravans and we also have vans that take them out. We have 4 stations, red, blue, yellow, green, and they're all color-coded.
This is logistical. This is important, isn't it?
Yes, it
Getting
does.
people to the right place. Now, some people are more adventuresome than others. Some are going further out. The tours are a little tougher. How does that work?
We had our first trip leave at 6:30 this morning in the dark. And they caravanned out. They'll be out all day till 4:30 this afternoon, and they'll be going from one site to another. We had 3 go out at 7 a.m. in the dark.
Now, what are they looking for? Are they looking for? Snow geese? Are they looking for ducks? What are they looking for?
Well, you know, it's all out there. There's snow geese, swans, egrets, cranes, raptors. We have many different field trips that go find all kinds of birds.
We got a room full of people here, and here to tell us what this is all about. Your name is?
Marilyn Gamet.
And what's your title?
Well, I'm retired U.S. Fish and Wildlife and also exhibit coordinator for this event.
For the Snow Goose event.
The Snow Goose Festival,
now,
our 11th year.
What kind of exhibits do you have here? You have a little bit of everything.
We do. We call them NGOs, non-government organizations. And then we have a few government organizations.
That deal with wildlife and habitat and wetlands.
Resources of all sorts.
Yeah.
We have the Bureau of Reclamation, Bureau of Land Management, on and on.
This is kind of the headquarters for the day right here. We watched people leaving on tours this morning out back, and then here in the building itself are all these
exhibits and free activities for families, youth, and so forth.
Symposiums, movies, lectures, the whole thing.
Workshops, the whole 9 yards.
4th and 6th graders from Chico, and what have you got over here? This is one of your class projects, right?
These are our wildlife refuge pyramids. We went on a field trip to the wildlife refuge, and we made all these pyramids of what we did there.
Can you tell one bird from another?
Yeah.
Or do they all kind of blend together?
Yeah, a lot of them blend together, but a lot of different ducks. Some stand out, like
but
snow
what about
geese.
the snow geese? Did you see snow geese?
Yes, we did see.
Are they beautiful? Are they big?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Wow.
And we got binoculars, and we got to look close at them.
Now we're standing here talking with, what's your name?
Liam Huber.
You're a local Chicoite, right? Now, your claim to fame, and everybody says we should talk with you today, is that you do what? You know what?
About birds.
You know about birds, but you know about bird sounds.
Yeah, I probably know about 300 bird songs.
You know 300, the sounds that 300 different birds make.
Yeah.
Well, they're all, some of them are just barely different from each other.
Yeah, definitely. Most of them are different, but definitely related species do sound normally alike.
Wow, so you're listening to a lot of bird sounds. What about identifying them by sight? How many of those can you identify?
Probably about 1,100.
You're kidding. By sight, you can give their name.
Yeah.
Marilyn.
This is true. I've been out birding with him, and yes, he can. All of a sudden, do you hear that? And the rest of us are, oh, yeah. And he said, that's a Swainson's thrush, or maybe a hermit thrush that you don't see.
How old are you?
12.
What do you think he's going to grow up to be?
Well,
can you see his potential already?
Tremendous potential.
Now, this is exciting. What's going on here, Marilyn?
Well, what we're doing is introducing all these young people to duck calling.
Duck calling. Can anybody call a duck? Do you know how to make a duck call? What about a goose quack, 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 quack? What about a goose call?
Well, there'll be some demonstrations by our callers here of a goose call, too.
But it's hard to do that, isn't it?
It's really hard, and you young people, I know, are going to be our future callers.
See, that's the idea. Get them when they're young.
You bet.
Okay, we got two experts here.
Two people.
Two noisemakers. Let's hear a little bit of this. Marilyn's kind of built it up. Are you calling a... Well, there are lots of ways to call ducks, aren't there?
Yeah, there's you can use quacks and you can use whistles. So pretty much when I go out, I use a mallard call.
Can you call for us?
Do you want?
Either way.
That's a...
Oh, that's just like a hen mallard call.
Oh, excuse me, I should have known.
And then when they're feeding and they're just sitting there, they're comfortable and they're not being disturbed, it's just... And they're just comfortable that they're feeding.
What about a goose call?
Well,
is that totally
I'll go
different?
back to duck one more. Because if they're startled, if they're scared and they want to get away, it's...
That's a duck. A scared duck.
Yeah, he's nervous. He wants to leave the
What
area.
about a happy goose? We're at the Snow Goose Festival. I want to hear a happy snow goose.
All right. This is actually a white front call, which can kind of do a snow goose call. So I'll try a snow. I'm not very good at. And then white front's
They are different, aren't they?
Very different.
How do you think you did? Pretty well? Yeah. My first snow goose sighting. How am I doing on this? You can tell I'm from L.A., can't you?
Well, actually, it's not bad, but that's a duck call, of course, as opposed to a goose.
A goose call.
So just want to be clear what's going on here.
Jeremy's teaching me the goose call next.
Oh, well, there you go.
I said that this was a snow goose. Now, that's right.
And that is correct.
But this is what, John?
A smaller relative called the Ross's goose.
So this is not a snow goose.
It's a white goose. A part of the white goose family.
Come on in here, Cameron, and take a close-up look. How would I tell the difference between a snow goose and a
Ross's goose?
Ross's goose.
Size, primarily. But there's also what's called the grin patch on the snow goose.
Right on the side?
Right on the side.
It's grinning on the beak. It looks like
we're being optimistic in assuming that's the case.
Wow. You know, these are beautiful birds.
They are, and out in the marsh, of course, they got the name snow goose because when they come in for a landing, they tumble, and they tumble down, and they look literally like
falling.
Snowflakes falling.
Wow, they're
and mixed in will be the Ross's goose, and you can tell them by size. When they're in the air, they're quite different, but...
How big do their wing...
Oh,
I can't tell.
We can't tell here, but the wing spread is about like that. Wow. It's pretty good size. These will be sometimes mixed in and a little shorter wing length.
Can I touch it? Is this a school?
Yes, you may.
Does this go to school?
This goes to school.
So let's just say you're not the first to have done that.
This poor duck, this poor goose has been, wow.
Yes.
It's been well loved.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, but it's got such a wonderful feel.
It does, and you'll notice that, of course, when they're flying, you can really see the black wingtips.
Let's do a snow goose call.
All right,
and see if we can find some live snow geese in the area.
I'll do my best.
Here we go. Well, after all the buildup, it was finally time to actually go in search of some live, honest-to-goodness, authentic snow geese. And to do that, we traveled about 30 minutes southwest of Chico to the Sacramento National Wildlife Refuge Complex, which is a huge area, over 35,000 acres of wetlands, that is itself a true California treasure. As we arrived and got out of the car, I gotta tell you, I was not prepared for what I saw. For the beauty, the majesty, and the sheer numbers of these magnificent snow geese. Okay, we're talking kind of softly now because we don't want to spook them. These birds get spooked very easily, don't they?
They can, especially this is hunting season, and also you have a number of wintering bald eagles that would like to make a meal out of one of them. So you'll see them every once in a while take flight for no apparent reason. Could be an eagle, could be an airplane, but they are jumpy.
You know, I've been having a lot of fun with this so far, you know, looking for the snow geese. But when you see them, they are spectacular, aren't they?
They really are, and in the numbers that they winter here, hundreds of thousands, it's quite a show. You are just seeing a small slice of what is normally the view here at Sac Refuge.
I don't know whether there is a normal here when you're talking about birds.
Yeah. Well, this is a major wintering area for Pacific flyway waterfowl, and snow geese is just one of the species that come here to the Sacramento Valley to spend the winter.
Yeah, we're about 11,000 acres here, and this is just one of 6 refuges that we manage.
And this is all public land. This is protected.
That's correct. This is the Department of Interior. It's U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and it's part of 550 national wildlife refuges nationally. And we are managed here primarily for wetlands and wintering, wetland-dependent wildlife.
So this is for the birds.
It is, and also for the people. That's why we have tour routes and photography blinds and hunting areas. There's lots of activity that takes place and people can come and participate in as well.
And in addition to the snow geese, you're known for your...
Pintail, northern pintail ducks is our #1 duck here in the valley.
Because I'm not a big birder. I know we drove by a lot of birds. I can't tell one from another, but there are lots of them and they're spread all out over this area.
Yes, and that happened to be a concentration of northern pintail there in one of our seasonal wetlands.
And how big is this Pacific flyway? Does it cover where does it start?
It stretches from Alaska down to Mexico.
So all of California?
All of
the
California.
Birds are going up and down California, back and forth with the season.
Yeah, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, all the way from their breeding areas up in the Arctic down to wintering areas such as this one, but further south as well.
So it's really important that this land is here and has been preserved for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, and of course we can't do it alone. We're located centrally in terms of 500,000 acres of rice that grow here in the valley. And rice is a crop that, after it's harvested, provides a lot of waste grain that's beneficial to the water.
They like the rice, don't they?
Absolutely, they do.
Now we're walking very slowly because...
Well, what we're wanting to do is prevent these birds from being too uncomfortable and flying away on us. They're much more accustomed to the vehicles driving by than they are to the upright human figure.
Really?
And that so-called disturbance, if you will, is something that's going to cause them to want to put some distance between us and them.
And when one of them takes off, they all take off.
It's kind of a signal it's time to get out of here.
How many birds are there in this area here?
Well, Sacramento's peak population for ducks is usually something between 750,000 and 1 million. That usually occurs at some point during the November to January wintering period. And then the goose peak population may be in the neighborhood of 1/3 to 500,000, depending on whether all the white fronts and white geese are here at the same time. They're actually one of the noisiest in terms of the geese and the waterfowl that come to visit, so they attract your attention just from the noise. But secondly, the contrast with that white and black wingtips against oftentimes the dark clouds or the sky, or catching the sunlight as they flash at a distance and in the tens and 20s thousands at a time is very impressive. It's one of the reasons we enjoy working here so much.
Wow, you don't get jaded? How could you?
I don't think so. I think that's one thing I can honestly say throughout my career here is that I never tire of driving the tour route and watching the birds.
And you know, even if you're not a hardcore birder, this is almost a spiritual experience to be out here and see all of it.
Absolutely. It's to me, it's just one of my favorite places to be.
You know, this is interesting. The highway, what is that? That's a major highway.
That's Interstate 5.
Right here.
That's correct.
By all of this wildlife.
Literally our entire west boundary of Sacramento Refuge is bordered by Interstate 5.
And see, I've been going up I-5, up and down I-5 all these years, and never knew this was over here.
Depending on the time of year, you know, it's easy in the summertime when we have the wetlands dry and most of the birds are gone, the waterfowl, you would miss it. But there's been many a time when the freeway traffic, you'll see people pulling off to the side or taking the exits because they see the big spiral of birds.
Can you imagine driving down I-5 and 200,000 birds coming up over you?
Not only can I imagine it, I've seen it.
This has just been an eye-opening experience for me. I had no idea what I was going to experience.
Mm-hmm.
They invited me to come to the Snow Goose Festival.
Right.
Well, I didn't know what a snow goose was.
Yeah.
And not only have we tapped into the enthusiasm of the people of Chico,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this whole area of Northern California really appreciates and loves these birds, don't they?
It's a very long-standing tradition. When you figure that we have migrants from as far away as Wrangel Island in Russia and the Western Canadian Arctic
that come here
and even points further south. So when you think about the thousands of miles that these birds navigate each year, each spring and each fall, it's pretty impressive. You really have to respect the resource.
Well, you have a lot of birds coming here every year. You also have a lot of people coming here to enjoy the birds, don't you?
Absolutely. About 100,000 visitors every year.
Really come here just to see things like this?
Absolutely. They'll use the auto tour, the photo blinds, get out on the platforms, walk the trails, come to the hunt areas. And it's, to me, one of the greatest joys of our employment is to share the story with the people, because they really appreciate and have a greater understanding that all that they see here in terms of habitat and the wildlife isn't here just by accident. This is a very intensively managed land. We have to actually manicure the wetlands and manipulate the wetlands while they're dry and then put water back on. This is artificially created and maintained system because the so-called natural wetlands in California,
disappeared.
Vast majority disappeared long ago.
Well, congratulations for the good work that you all are doing. Thank you for bringing us here. Boy, you sure get the idea of their beauty and of what is here in this area of California. It is such a wonderful place. I highly recommend everybody come and experience this for yourself, because when you stand here and it's so quiet except for the sound, listen to this sound. The sound of the birds. And this is their home, this refuge, this wonderful wildlife area that has been set aside for the birds, traveling all the way from Russia, from Alaska, down to Mexico. Boy, this is truly part of California's gold. Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed our visit to the annual Snow Goose Festival in Chico in Butte County, which is well worth a visit. And if you'd like to go on this particular adventure again, share it with family or friends, or more importantly, donate a copy to your local school or library, well, it's available on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727. And we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
Ford and the Ford dealers are proud to have brought you California's Gold. Discover the new ideas we're developing to make being out on the road more enjoyable and more economical. Like EcoBoost, the turbocharged engine technology that gives you the power of a larger engine with surprising gas mileage. Ford is committed to making your traveling fun, economical, and environmentally responsible.